She said, in the notes here it says that you like to be on a high floor. In the notes it says a lot of things. It also says in the notes from our meeting planner that you're a VIP, that we're supposed to treat you, and she said, I'll spin the, she said, we're supposed to treat you like a rock star. She said, there is only one major problem. We are sold out. We have no rooms. Again, my humor kicks in, and I said, let's review. I am your guest of the day, but I'm not staying here. She said, now that you put it like that, it sounds rather ridiculous. Ladies and gentlemen, as true as I stand on this stage, if you've ever been to Las Vegas, Nevada, they did not take me in a limo away from the hotel. They brought me in one. They put us in a yellow cab. My wife's almost in tears. We're going out in this yellow cab. We're going off the strip. Who's been off the strip? To the hotels that have the 4 bandits in the lobby. That's it. That's gambling off the strip. They pull into a Super 8 motel. Now, nothing wrong with a Super 8. Got to be careful here at Sherm. But I didn't want to stay at a Super 8. We walked in, I'll never forget, coffee pot, coffee in it. Somebody had left coffee in the coffee pot. My wife, I could see a look in her face, and I had to spin this real fast. I said, oh my God, they made us coffee. Next day we got up, we went over to the convention center, and man, I love it. I mean, if you can't tell I love what I do, I'm up there and we're having a blast. I get to the end, I get a standing ovation, and it's just, boom! I walk off, I'm out there, just like here almost. I walk out there, she said, we got to get to the book signing. I get out there, man, I was having fun, you know, to Frank, to Jim, to Bonnie. I'm writing these names down, people laughing, having a good time. I said, that was really good. Guy walked up and he said, make mine out to the guest of the day. I said, oh, I told the story that morning. Guest of the day. He said, that was a funny, funny story. He said, let me tell you why I wanted to the guest of the day. He said, I checked in here yesterday afternoon. He said, I got on the elevator. I was fumbling around with my key, and the guy said, you must have one of them special keys. He said, so I locked that thing into the elevator. Man, I went up to the top. Did you ever see the movie Hangover? So, man, I get up to the top, and he said, there's French doors and a doorbell. I walk in, I got a living room, a dining room, 2 bedrooms, 3 showers, 6 television sets, and a full bar. I get over there, and there's a bottle of scotch, a bottle of wine, cheese, crackers, fruit. The only thing they messed up was the card. It said, welcome, Steve. He said, they gave me your room. He said, isn't that funny? He said, isn't that funny? I looked at my wife. She said, not really. But I tell you, because the late Paul Harvey used to say what? How about the rest of the story? Then about 9 months later, I'm in an airport in Dallas, and my office called, and a woman named Brianna, who is one of the people that handles some of my bookings, said, hey, you're not going to believe this. I said, what? She said, we got a call. I said, Brianna, I said, she was all excited. We don't talk about bookings that are way out there. She said, no, you got to hear this. I asked the woman, where did you hear him? And when I asked, she said, I've never heard him. I was at a Meeting Professionals International meeting where the hospitality industry meets the meeting planner industry. You follow me? The hotels meet the meeting planners. They're going to figure out what properties they're going to have their meetings at. You know, some of you in here have done that as HR professionals. But she said all of a sudden I went to this breakout session, this little concurrent session, and it was entitled Best Speaker You've Ever Heard. Best Speaker You've Ever Heard. Well, I just went in there, and it was kind of cool. They had a mic, and all we did was the facilitator said, we're going to pass it around, give the name of the speaker, his or her topic, and why you would recommend hiring them. Woman in the back stands up. She said, I want to start. Facilitator said, all right, we got somebody eager. Hands the woman the mic, and the woman said, I hired a speaker. Here's his name. Write it down, and I'll be very patient with you. As a matter of fact, she said, I had made little cards. I saw this was going to be a concurrent session. She said, here's all of his contact information as well. She said, the reason why you're going to want to take this card is, I hired him to speak at our event. We were treating him like a rock star. We chased him for 2 years and finally got his schedule freed up. And when we got there, she tells the whole story. She says, I never knew he stayed at the Super 8. He never said a word. He simply went to the Super 8. The next day, got up, rocked the stadium, rocked the crowd, signed books for 2 hours, thanked me over and over and over again. By the time I got back the next day, there was a card from him, a handwritten card. There was a gift from him thanking me for the experience and how wonderful everything was. And then 3 days later, I find out from somebody who was talking about the speaker and the most hilarious story they'd ever heard about. And by the way, I embellished a few things on that story that day for that group. So I made it funnier. She then called me. And when she called me, I remember her saying, Mr. Gilliland, I said, hey, Melinda. She goes, why? Just why? Why wouldn't you let? She goes, I am so embarrassed. I said, Melinda, 5,000 people, hotels, reservations, meals, meeting space. I said, do you have any idea how much I know you had to do? I said, the last thing you needed to worry about was a speaker. Number one, I had a hotel room. I said, they made arrangements for me. Number two, the last thing you need to worry about is me. I said, but here's the main thing. I said, the place you sent me to wasn't all that bad. I said, we got there, man. They had already made us coffee. Now, why do I tell you that when I've got up something about passion? Don't give people permission to ruin your day. Because our office has tracked the spin-offs from that one event. I think I might want to say it like this. Always know that somebody's watching. And don't ever take a play off. Because I've got 17 speaking engagements from that one event. Why? Tony Dungy said it probably better than me. He said, before you say anything or do anything, ask yourself this question. Is what I'm going to say or what I'm going to do going to improve the situation? If it doesn't improve it, don't say it, don't do it. Shall I slow it down? Before you say anything in any situation, ask yourself, is what I'm going to say or what I'm going to do going to improve the situation? If it doesn't, don't you dare say it, don't you dare do it. Because at that one single moment, you may change the trajectory. People talk about engagement. People talk about culture. Do you have how many times in the course of a day does something happen that what do? We give people permission to ruin our day, and guess what happens? It's going off. You've been in a meeting that starts out one way and ends another way? Yes. Don't give people permission to ruin your day.